Hey everyone, welcome, welcome. I know we have 30 minutes today, so we're going to kind of just jump right in. So we appreciate everyone for joining today's Right Side Up deep dive. Over the next 30 minutes, we're going to walk through all the different capabilities of Right Side Up, and then we'll leave some time at the end for Q&A. Before we kind of jump right in, just want to walk through the obligatory housekeeping items. So please note everyone on this call is muted. However, if you have any questions, you can use the Q&A box. And if you want to chat with anyone else that's attending this webinar or even pose any questions to the attendees, you can use the chat functionality. And then lastly, an email with the recording will be sent out tomorrow. So if you want to rewatch it, share with any colleagues or friends, look out for that in your inbox about tomorrow afternoon. All right, with that, I am thrilled to be kicking this off and introducing my colleague Mike Timoney, our head of operations here at Right Side Up. Mike has about 20 plus years of experience, both agency and in-house, leading growth and performance teams across marketer, programs, channels, as well as teams. So with that, I'm going to pass it off to Mike, and I'll be back for the Q&A. Enjoy, everyone.
Thanks, Amanda.
Sure.
All right. Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining today as we wrap up 2025. The year has flown by, and it's great to be here to regroup on Right Setup's offerings, how we approach growth across our clients and our model, and share more about how we work as you start to think about 2026 and all the amazing things you want to accomplish in your respective companies. All right, so I'm going to start with a quick background on the Right Setup story and how we started. So Right Setup was founded on the premise of the traditional agency model is broken, and by that meaning there are a lot of ways that agencies work that don't actually serve clients' best interests. So that can come about in many ways. One being the resourcing and staffing of a particular engagement. Oftentimes, during the pitch process in a traditional agency environment, you meet one team, and then when you sign on the agency and bring on the actual team you'll be working with, the resources have shifted or maybe aren't the strongest fit for your business, don't have the experience, a variety of factors. It could be things like you can't poach exceptional talent that you are working with at an agency when you do have a good experience. Percent of media pricing. It can come about many different ways. So when Right Setup was started, the idea was we're going to flip the model on its head, and what that means is we're going to focus on A plus talent, and that can mean we will go and curate the talent that maps to everything you need to be successful on that engagement and provide the right resourcing. It can be pro poaching, where you can hire the talent that we put on your engagement, and that's contractually free and clear. And it's priced. Oftentimes, we have many different delivery models in the company that we can talk about, but priced on an hourly rate basis where clients can capture the efficiency of the pricing model as opposed to having incentives that don't necessarily align where the costs go up and incentivize the agency to spend more on media, even if it's against a client's best interest. So how does that come about practically? We're a talent platform. We're powered by A plus marketers. We have a very high bar for the people that we'll work with. We have proprietary technology built to help our clients help resource the right solution for our clients, and we've invested in that since our inception, basically for the last 9 to 10 years. We deploy the best marketers, and we'll do it in any configuration. It could be an individual consultant, could be part of a custom team that we assemble to meet a client objective. Could be FTEs through our recruiting services, which we launched about a year and a half ago. And we're agnostic to that, and we want to work with our clients to understand what is the right configuration that they need to be successful against their budgets, against their goals, and deploy the right solution and not box our clients into a pre-configured way of doing things. So what we believe is that A plus talent anchors the best organizations in the world. I think this is well established at this point. But our model is truly to work backwards from client needs. So the example I gave earlier about how typically agency or more traditional agencies work is they have a team on staff. They will deploy people who have availability or capacity that are already on staff. We take a very different approach where we'll go into our collective. We'll deeply vet our solutions to make sure, and that's all before a client even sees a recommendation from us. We will vet the talent. We will make sure that this person maps not only to the skill set but stage experience, leveling, every aspect of what's going to make somebody actually successful and make our clients feel the benefit of what we're doing and really feel the value and the outputs of that. So again, it's an example of we're agnostic to the way that it comes about, but we're trying to assemble the right solution that's very custom to our clients' objectives. So there are three main ways that you can engage with us. One, individual consultant. So you have a specific need, could be 5 hours a week, it could be 40 hours a week, anything in between. We have a deeply vetted talent collective we've been building since our inception. We maintain a very high bar on the talent that we work with. We're constantly reevaluating. And as part of that, we'll go into our collective and curate the right solution using our team of in-house growth marketers who are evaluating those people. So knowing that marketers evaluating marketers is really how we determine excellence because we've done the work. So we'll go in and curate that person based on our own experience and what we think maps to the client objectives. FTE recruiting, this is something we've heard repeatedly from our client base over the years. Um, Given that we're building this network and we have a great pulse on amazing talent and we're holding a high bar, we can help with FTE recruiting services and give you a full-time person that you feel is an excellent member of your team and you want to invest in beyond an engagement scope. So happy to pursue that as well. And then we have many agency teams structured around different areas of marketing that are specialized. So, for example, we have an offline practice that's focused around audio channels of podcast advertising, streaming, TV, CTV, and so on. And they work with a lot of our larger consumer brand clients. And that is an area of specialization that we've kind of isolated within the company and has been growing very rapidly. We have an affiliate practice. We have a B2B performance agency. We have a creative offering, and so on. And our belief is that there are areas where we really want to invest in building out teams in more of an agency construct where clients really want to work in that format. So we do offer that as well. And this, again, is part of our evaluation when we talk to a new lead or a new client to determine what the right fit is and what our recommendation is going to be. So we've worked with well over 1,000 clients at this point. We span every industry, every stage. We're truly agnostic to all of it because, again, we will work backwards from the client's specific needs. But you can see some of our logos and people that we've worked with over the years. These continue to be long-term relationships where we'll work with many companies for 5+ years, in some instances, in deep engagements with them. And we're constantly expanding our client footprint as we continue to grow and work with different types of companies and build our talent collective to map to things beyond just standard scopes, but into more nuanced scopes that this expanding client base needs. So our talent collective is growing commensurately with our client base. So I'll dive in a bit in a deeper level into the different parts of Right Setup and how we partner with clients. So the one that we're, I think, primarily known for was our roots when the business started as our consultant marketplace. So we focus on every aspect of marketing, every dimension from manager to C-level and everything in between that across every dimension. And it could be a consolidated scope like head of growth, interim head of growth, or it could be isolated to specific areas like GEO is an emerging one that we can talk more about later on in the webinar, but also paid social, email marketing, product marketing. Our collective supports all of those. We've done many engagements across all of these, and then we have use cases that map to the fractional consultant marketplace. So things where it's not a full-time role, but our client still needs some degree of support, again, in that 5 to 40-hour week, oftentimes more in the 20 to 25. or there's an area of particular specialization where the existing team does not have the experience. We can bring in a consultant who does have experience in that particular area and deploy them to fill a gap. Seasonal leave coverage is one that often comes up where somebody is going on a sabbatical or somebody is going on parental leave, or there's some other reason where there's a gap for some period, and we can fill that with our flexible model. So we often get requests from our clients for that. Fast team scaling, just need to fill someone quickly, and the hiring cycle is maybe going to take a bit longer, and you need somebody in seat pretty rapidly. And then a huge feature of what we do in the consultant marketplace is this idea of try before you buy. Very beneficial on both the talent and the client side. We've received a lot of feedback from both on the benefits of this model, where a client may want to bring in a consultant because they want to see if it's a good fit. And the same on the talent side, they want to see if it's a good fit before they join a company. And it can create a mutually beneficial structure where they can evaluate, is this something they want to formalize in a W-2 relationship? And then our pro poaching approach to the way we work allows for that conversion to happen and the match to be made and them to go on in an FTE capacity as well. We do this quickly. I think speed is the thing we often talk about as the most important, and what our clients expect of us. We can deploy marketers in 5 to 7 business days from first conversation to get them pitched to the client for evaluation. So we move very quickly in our process. A lot of times with these scopes, we can move as fast as 2 days because we have so much repetition, so much learning over the years of who our talent base is, and we can move very quickly on getting our clients a recommendation. So I'll talk a bit about just a few quick use cases. I mentioned these before, but just to dive a step deeper. Parental leave. So an example challenge would be a health tech company has a member of their marketing team, they're going on parental leave, and they need a specialist for some degree of short-term coverage. Typically, these are 3 to 6 months. It could be even shorter. It could be 6 weeks to 8 weeks, or something along those lines. Our approach is, again, we'll apply the speed I mentioned on the previous slide, where we'll go into our collective quickly, we'll vet against the scope we've calibrated with the client. We'll deploy an A-plus marketer, that we're recommending for client review and alignment. And they dive in and provide the coverage for whatever the period is. Again, anywhere between 10 and 40 hours a week at the client's recommendation or need. A very big one that we're hearing a lot about, which is probably pretty obvious to everyone, GEO is another area that, as everyone knows, is emerging very quickly. We've been really heads down internally on building out this capability, both in developing our understanding of GEO and the space and how to be effective in it, but also building out our offering in our collective of talent that we can deploy who has experience and can drive GEO efforts for our clients. So a challenge would be a delivery technology platform wants to be discoverable, cited in generative engines like ChatGPT or Gemini. We'll partner to basically we'll partner to deploy talent. In this case, is how we'd approach it from our collective. They could build a structured, measurable GEO strategy, and you bring deep expertise to how generative engines evaluate, rank, and surface a client's brand content, ensuring discoverability, citation rates going up, and long-term competitiveness in AI-driven discovery. So I'll pivot now to our agency team summary. And this is what I was mentioning around. We have verticalized teams led by GMs of these various teams within Right Setup that function more like traditional agencies in some cases. So the first is our offline team. Again, they focus on all things audio, so podcasts, terrestrial radio, and then into TV OTT, measurement frameworks. They work with top brands. They are very, very scaled in their approach and have been growing very quickly in terms of demand from our client base and working with many large brands like Com, Rocket, Nutrafol, Robinhood. So that team deploys the same principles as the core marketplace, which is moving very quickly, nimbly, with deep expertise in all these channels, measurement, how to justify budget in these channels and scaling them to add to your media mix in an incremental and highly attributable way. So we're a really exciting team as part of Right Setup. We have an e-commerce marketplace focused on Amazon PPC, DSP, account management, also focused on Instacart, Walmart, Kroger Ads, for example. Deeply analytical team, highly specialized in all things e-commerce related, and working with brands like Momentous, Kodiak Cakes, Rishi, and so on. Again, under a GM structure, and that team functions very nimbly as well, can scale very quickly, and can drive very measurable results in those channels. We have an affiliate marketing practice, which is one of the newer ones, though has been around for a few years now, growing very quickly as we've seen a ton of demand to build out affiliate programs in our client base. So really strategic around how to build out an affiliate strategy, whether it's actually inheriting one that's already in place and scaling it further, or launching affiliate as an effort. It's led by our GM, Amy Scanlon, who's best in the business, has been in the affiliate space for 20 plus years for many large brands. And we work with brands like SiriusXM, Lululemon Studio, and Stripe. Right% is a bit of an interesting use case for us where Right% is highly specialized in B2B performance marketing. They focus primarily on LinkedIn meta ads, Google search ads, attribution, and also creative strategy for these channels, knowing that creative drives a high degree of performance across all these performance channels. That's another one where being highly specialized in B2B, SMB, and enterprise, there's a ton of interest in working with them. They've worked with many large brands to build and scale programs like DoorDash, Ramp, Reddit, and they're seeing a ton of success as they continue to grow and operate as an isolated offering in Right Setup, but sub-branded as Right%. And finally, Studio RSU is our creative services agency. So they're really specialized on things like ad creative, UX, UI design. Brand storytelling is another one that they've been increasingly investing in. And then from a tactical perspective, video ads, animation, illustrations, and so on. And they're partnering with Robinhood, Live It Up, Earnest, and a lot of other scaled brands. So here's a couple of use cases kind of tying to the BU side of the business. Podcast advertising. So use case or challenge, a meal kit delivery service needs to differentiate and diversify and scale performance channels in a highly competitive market. The solution is engaging our offline team to activate podcast advertising as a potential channel or a channel that is of interest to win and convert loyal audiences on native channels where they are most engaged. And then on the flip side of that, B2B performance advertising, a B2B fintech company wants to improve down funnel conversions on paid media channels. They would engage our Right% team to optimize ad creative and results on Meta and LinkedIn, and partner with Studio RSU. So oftentimes our Right% team will bring in Studio RSU to focus on creative execution, knowing that the two work in tandem with these performance channels, and drive iteration, development, deployment of creative to drive performance. Lastly, this is an area that we've seen increasing opportunity and interest from our clients, and it's around custom agency teams. So what this really means in practice is where we might deploy a single consultant or multiple single consultants around different scopes in the previous marketplace model, or we have an agency team in one of the business units in the aforementioned slide. Custom agency teams means we are actually going into our collective and pulling talent together in a team construct to deploy to our clients. So we've seen this work with mid and larger stage related later stage clients where they need maybe a quarterback of the engagement who might serve as something like a head of growth with channel managers underneath them and maybe an analyst. And we will construct based on skill set that maps really well to that client from our collective, highly vetted, A+ talent to build out a team offering and then deploy that team offering in a way that meets the client objectives where they need more than a single person or more than multiple people kind of embedded in different parts of their organization. And it doesn't fit into just one business unit within the company. So this is an example where we can really apply our customization to actually deliver a solution to our clients that isn't something we just configure from other parts of our offering. And finally, FTE recruiting summary. So again, this area is one that we've heard for years, really needing or a client's desire to really help them out with this, knowing that it's very hard to hire full-time talent, A plus talent. So we've been building out a premium offering that kind of complements our fractional services to partner with our clients in places where they want to just bring on an FTE resource straight away and not necessarily a fractional resource that they then convert down the line, although the two can work in tandem. And we have had cases where a client wants to kick off an FTE search and they want to bring in a fractional person in the interim. And maybe that person ends up converting, or maybe it's they cover for 3 to 6 months or however long it takes to bring on an FTE resource, and the two can kind of work in tandem until the ultimate solution is met with an FTE hire. But areas that we supported this is, full-time executive search, strategic talent sourcing. We can help with interview process management, so help evaluate talent and help drive the hiring process if a client or an internal team needs help with that. We can advise on org structure design. This is a topic that comes up often, formally and informally, around how to think about growth team or marketing team structures and what should it look like, and advising our clients on that. We can help build out JDs and pitch sheets. We can do role definition and scoping. We have tons of data kind of on how our various clients have thought about various role scopes and how they should fit in different organizations and things like that. So we can provide a lot of insight there. Um, Candidate cultivation and closing, like helping nurture relationships, interview framework creation, technical talent evaluation, and obviously market comp analysis, as we have a ton of data there as well. And we've partnered with a lot of our large clients in this. So here's a sample use case. A CMO needs a VP of growth or a VP of marketing or some similar specialized role. Speed, again, is always the need in what we operate against. So knowing that we need to move quickly, and our clients are oftentimes, solving for a very bespoke need by the time they come to us. So knowing that the risk of hiring the wrong person uh, is the like is very high, and like needing that type of support. So we will evaluate for candidates who have really like shown success in that area, whatever the scope may be, and really deeply vet them to find the right outcome. So we'll create a tailored search process to identify the top marketing VPs in this case that fit specific criteria. They leverage both their internal marketing network and broader talent market based on the roles mapping criteria, and engaging passive talent. Being sure by that, given our the breadth of our talent pool and our collective, that we have a wide pool of top tier candidates providing the best people, A plus talent to help our clients meet our goals. We also have an hourly recruiting model. So in this case, a director of marketing needs a CRM, life cycle marketing expert, or something along those lines. While they have access to an internal HR team, it's not specialized in recruiting. This is something we hear very often. So they've relied on job post applications. But as we all, I think, have heard, like there's tons of volume, poor quality. Going through applications can be very time consuming, given the volume and the varying degrees of quality. So our model here is we can work on an hourly basis to understand role specifications and create materials to attract top talent. So more customized approach. It will collaborate with any internal talent teams at our clients. And we can actively source passive candidates on LinkedIn. We'll reach out to them with messaging that we developed, and we can screen them. And after that, we can hand off candidates and save our clients a ton of time with that vetting and evaluation process. So it can be a real ROI positive offering that we give to our clients. I'll just put up a couple of testimonials here. I won't read them verbatim, but once again, we have a lot of very gracious and lovely clients who have given us a lot of very nice testimonials over the years. So we're very grateful to get to work with such great brands and talented marketing leaders. All right.
All right. Thanks, Mike. I know we have a little bit of time, so I want to throw out some questions and feel free, if you didn't have a chance to ask a question, feel free to throw it in the Q&A box now. But yeah, First off, I want to kind of get your thoughts on AI. How do you think AI is really changed up, or what's the effect of AI on growth marketer or growth marketing?
Yeah, it's really interesting. I have a couple of thoughts I can share. I think one, the very obvious places I think we've seen AI have an effect on marketing has been on the creative front. So it's definitely increased the speed of iteration in creative, and creating variations of performance creative and things like that very quickly. So that's one obvious place. I think copywriting is another one where I've seen a lot of examples of clients and companies using it for rapid iteration of variations of copy, obviously with mixed results depending on the use case and the applications, where AI may sometimes not be a good replacement for highly specialized or curated copy, and losing some of the art, so to speak, of like copywriting and creative development that really only a human can do. Personal opinion, but I think there's has been well established. There is a hybrid between the two of defining use cases where you just need rapid iteration and it's maybe short form, or it's a basic piece of creative with minor edits you're making, and AI is an excellent use case for that. Um, those are two. I think there's still a lot of um, figuring out like how does it improve operational processes, within teams and companies, and that's obviously highly specific to the company and the team. But I think that's the area that company, at least from client conversations I've had, is still trying to figure out exactly how it provides a lot of scale for the clients I'm speaking with, and personally what I've experienced myself. So that one's a little bit trickier. And then obviously the GEO side as an emerging channel, as SEO and GEO kind of morph as they continue to scale. And as I mentioned earlier, we're investing heavily in understanding the GEO space and how to deploy strategies and talent from our collective that are really effective in that area. But I think understanding like the levers to pull, just like I started my career in SEO 20 years ago. And at that time, it was like, the basic ranking factors and things that drive SEO performance, and trying to figure out, how the algorithms were evolving those. There's a lot of parallels with GEO and figuring out what drives citations and what drives ultimately performance in GEO. And I think given the nascency of that space, we're still learning and trying to figure out how this is all going to play out, I think is the ultimate answer a lot of people give when it comes to anything AI related. But those are kind of the main areas I've seen.
Absolutely. And I feel like if I asked you this question this time next year, things are going to be so much different. So
Very
we'll just
different.
have to get on that ride and wait and see. But appreciate that answer. My second question is more like someone is interested in engaging with Right Side Up. What does that process look like?
Just reach out to us. You can reach out to me. You can reach out to growth at Right Set Up. Any of the above, we're very quick to respond. We will typically, when our clients reach out to us, or any company reaches out to us for that matter, we'll want to set up time and talk to you about whatever the topic is, what your goals are. We approach those conversations as very collaborative, and our goal is always just to understand, and then we can weigh in with whatever relevant thoughts and solution we might have to a particular area. But we're always eager to talk to great marketers, period, without any expectation of formal business. It's the opportunity to just connect with the community and connect with people is always wonderful. And we're happy to do that. So reach out anytime to us. You can go to our website. We have a contact us form that you can fill out, and somebody will be in touch very quickly.
Absolutely. All right. I think we are almost at time. So if you do have any additional questions for Mike, his contact information is up on that screen, or you can quickly throw it in the Q&A box and we'll respond to you after today's webinar. But thank you everyone for joining our kind of quick 30-minute deep dive of Right Side Up. As a reminder, we will be sending a link with the recording tomorrow afternoon, so look out for that. And thank you, Mike, again for hosting today's webinar. Hope everyone enjoyed it. Yeah, all right. With
Awesome.
that, we're gonna say goodbye, but thanks everyone. Have a good rest of your day.